Zicam is an over-the-counter nasal spray for the treatment of cold symptoms. This week, the FDA warned consumers to stop using Zicam because it can cause you to lose your sense of smell, sometimes permanently. And this is not a recent discovery. As far back as 2003, hundreds of Zicam users had filed lawsuits after losing their sense of smell. In 2006, the makers of Zicam reached a multi-million-dollar settlement. But the product remains on the market, and hundreds more claims have been filed since then. It turns out Zicam was not required to go through the FDA's drug approval process because it was marketed as a homeopathic remedy, which is especially ironic because if homeopathic treatments actually worked, these dangerous side effects would never have happened. You see, the effects of a drug depend on how much of it is administered. The greater the dose, the greater the effect. For example, if you're having an allergic reaction, you can take an antihistamine like Benadryl to suppress the reaction. And if it's still not under control, you can take another Benadryl to increase the effect. This can also cause dry mouth and drowsiness. Now, if you take the entire box of Benadryl, you'll most likely start having visual and auditory hallucinations. So don't do that. And that's how it is with most drugs. Too little of the drug means not enough of an effect, and too much of the drug will have an undesirably strong effect. This relationship between the quantity of a substance and the effect it induces is fundamental to medicine, and homeopathy takes this well-founded principle and turns it upside down. The purported strength of a homeopathic remedy is measured on the X scale, so its potency is described as 6x, 12x, or 30x, for example. The higher the number, the greater the alleged potency. The number indicates how much the active ingredient has been diluted. For a 12x solution, there would be 1 part of active ingredient in 10 to the power of 12. That is 1 part per trillion. And according to homeopathy, this would actually be stronger than a 6x solution, which is 1 part in 10 to the power of 6, or 1 part per million. As the concentration of the active ingredient is reduced, the effect supposedly increases, and the greater the concentration, the weaker the effect. Often the solution is diluted so much that not a single molecule of the active ingredient remains, leaving only the substance it was diluted in, typically water, alcohol, or some kind of inert substance. And yet homeopaths claim these solutions are just as effective as actual medicine, which they are not. Most homeopathic products are so diluted they have no medical effect. Pretending that they do is just a scam. For example, if you buy Head-On, the one that you apply directly to the forehead, you are paying to rub a stick of wax on your face. You may as well use a candle. Now, how strong is Zicam? The active ingredient is zinc gluconate with a concentration of 2x, or 1 part in 100. As a homeopathic solution, this is so weak that it shouldn't do anything at all. And yet, in reality, this is strong enough to damage your sense of smell when you spray it in your nose. If homeopathy actually worked, Zicam would have to be much more diluted to make it strong enough to cause these symptoms. But homeopathy does not work. It's farcical, ignorant quackery, and sometimes it's even dangerous.